evolution's laws. Darwin writes on nature flaws. Curie, radium, and X-ray beams. Einstein, relativity. Watson, Crick, and DNA. Black holes, Hawking, math, Copernicus redraws a path. Lauren and PJ do science. She's got a doctorate. He's got a beat in lyrics. Lauren and PJ do science. Yeah, he's a broke musician, and she's gonna teach him. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the special introduction episode of Lauren and PJ Do Science. Yes, in this next couple minutes, you're going to get to learn the stars of the show, Lauren, and of course, myself, PJ. And Lauren and me have a bit of a history. I was doing the math, actually. Can you believe we've known each other for somewhere around like 18 years?
Yeah. So when we met, I was in my last year of college, I think. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, our relationship can it can vote.
Oh my god!
It can vote. It can join the army. It can do all sorts of crazy. Yeah, it's insane how much.
It could buy a gun.
It could buy a lottery ticket. It could buy a gun. It could lose money on a lottery ticket, but it can't go gamble in a casino, which always struck me weird.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Weird.
But anyway, about the show we're doing, yeah, it's a really cool concept, I think, where, Lauren, if you can go and tell the good people what exactly it is you do and your background in science, and then I'll explain it from there.
What is it that you do? Oh, God. Well, so my PhD...
I mean, you study some doo-doo.
Sometimes, yeah. I like gross stuff. I like slimy stuff. I like gross stuff. I like when people see like weird mold in their fridge or like disgusting pond scum, and they're like, "Oh God, what is that?" I'm like, "Oh God, what is that?" So I have a gross stuff kink, I guess. But I have a PhD in biological oceanography. So I started out by studying bacteria and archaea in the ocean and in salt marshes. And then I did a postdoc in a geological science department. And then I did another postdoc back at another oceanography institution. And now I work in a biology department, and I teach microbiology and genetics and molecular biology. And I study microbes in any habitat I can get my greedy little paws on. So sometimes that's the deep ocean, sometimes it's iron bogs, sometimes it's deep, thick blue mud out in the salt marsh. The weirder and darker and creepier, the better, because I'm a goth and that's my jam.
You've come such a long way since we were digging about in the swamp marshes, picking up goop from on those days when you were in school. Yeah.
Oh, God,
simply
yeah.
put, Lauren is much smarter than you are. So there's that. Well, you've had like papers published and things like that. Like, you know, you're smart. Me, on the other hand, PJ, I barely made it out of high school chemistry and didn't really do well in science. And that's because I was playing music and doing theater most of the time. So that's where the music part of this show comes in. I play guitar, I sing, I play ukulele, a little bit of piano, some accordion, like basically every instrument you can think of. I want to try to learn how to play it and figure out how it's done. I have an Instagram and TikTok if you want to see my music, PJK Music 27, but that is not what we are here about either. So the show, let's tell you about the show a little bit. Lauren is going to use that big, beautiful brain of hers and teach me things all about microbiology, all about different, you know, mold and goopy and icky stuff like she likes to study. And I am going to be trying to write songs related to that topic. So we're going to take a topic. Let's say, I think our first topic we're going to be talking about is mRNA. And it's way too much to cover in one episode. So we're going to split it up into a bunch of different episodes. And once we get done, we'll call it a lesson, I guess. Once we get done the lesson in mRNA, I'm going to write a song about mRNA. But each episode, what we're going to do is start to compile a playlist of songs that are kind of related to the topic at hand. So, again, mRNA, I guess Message in a Bottle would be a good first one for that to add to the playlist.
Well, I've got to get a message to you.
Yeah, things of that nature. So that's kind of how it's going to work. It's really cool, really interesting, and kind of to kick us off, I guess. And I'm not going to write a song about this, although maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. But to kick us off, Lauren, you're going to give us our first kind of mini lesson for today.
Yeah, I thought it would be fun to do just like a really quick little teaser science lesson. And so I have a couple of little stories related to biology that I love to tell folks because I think they're just super cool. And so today I thought I would tell you all about the sea slug that thinks it's a plant.
Okay.
There's this sea slug named Elysia chlorotica. Very exciting, very sexy name. Elysia chlorotica is actually found off of the northeast coast of the United States, so right here off of New Jersey, where I currently live. And you thought there was nothing good in New Jersey. And this
everything's legal in Jersey.
Everything's legal in Jersey. So this sea slug begins its life eating microscopic algae. So basically like really tiny versions of seaweed. And it doesn't just eat the algae, it actually takes the chloroplasts from the algae. So chloroplasts are like these micro compartments inside of the cells of the algae whose whole job is to perform photosynthesis. They capture energy from sunlight and turn it into sugar. So the sea slug doesn't digest these chloroplasts, it starts collecting them. And as it collects them over time, over the first 8 days or so of its life, it keeps them in its body. And then at the end of this beginning period of life, where it's slowly collecting these chloroplasts over time, it becomes able to do photosynthesis. So it doesn't have to eat ever again. So basically it goes from being like this dull brown color to this beautiful bright green, and it literally looks like a leaf. And it can just sit out in the sun, capture energy from the sun like a plant does, and turn it into food. So the really, really cool part about it to me is that, yes, it's capturing these chloroplasts from the plants in order to be able to do this. But it also has some of the genes needed to do photosynthesis already in its genome. So it has some of these photosynthesis genes. It just can't make the chloroplasts, the little compartmentalized bits of pigment that capture that sunlight energy. It has to get it from its diet. And if it doesn't get it from its diet in the first week or so of its life, it can never do photosynthesis, and it will always have to eat.
Interesting. So it's kind of like Mega Man then.
I was thinking
where
Pokemon.
No, but like Mega Man, where he goes and he beats up the bad guy and he like absorbs their power.
Oh,
that's kind of where. Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, you would assume that Mega Man would have all their, because they were all made by Dr. Light and Dr. Wily, right? So they would all kind of logically start with the same basis of programming, I would imagine. I don't see them like inventing a completely different kind of programming for each robot that they came up with. They would have to use some base somewhere. So yeah, Mega Man defeats the boss's fight. We'll call him Plant Man in this case. And then he just becomes a plant and sits there and vibes and takes in the sunlight.
Yeah.
Would that be accurate?
Yeah. So I just learned actually that the term for it is kleptoplasty because it's stealing the chloroplasts. It's a kleptoplast.
That sounds illegal. Kleptoplasty. That sounds like
everything is legal in Jersey, so it's okay.
Yeah, but that's like, if you go to the facelift clinic and you just don't pay the guy, it's a kleptoplasty.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, people, I never said the jokes were going to be good.
Well, maybe after the first couple of episodes, we'll become funny. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get into a groove somewhere. And we can't forget Shower Guy. There's a dude who's going to be hanging out with us called Shower Guy. And
unfortunately,
he's Yeah, unfortunately, he's an interesting cat who just decided that he was going to show up on the show, and we're going to hear from him from time to time. He lives in a shower. He doesn't eat plants though, so he's not going to like photosynthesize from a sea slug into a plant. But yeah, he just hangs out in the shower, and he's that dude who is going to come up with those like deep shower thoughts and deep ideas, and maybe even do a little, smack talking on us and haze us and shame us a little bit for a couple things. I don't know. He's just an odd guy. You're going to meet him at a later point in time, but he does have, and this was part of his contract. He does have his own TikTok page. Where, look, we had to.
Instead of us having to pay him, so
Right, and it's fine because we're operating on a budget of like zero. In fact, we're in the hole because I had to send you the microphone, and that took like 3 times because I don't know, the mail system can't get there.
Is weird. It's because if you try to send anything into the New Jersey Pine Barrens, it has to go through the Jersey Devil. And yeah. Well, finally, I told the post office. I said, "Look, he's my great uncle. Can we just get the microphone to me?" And they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we forgot. It'll never happen again." This happens like every 3 months or so. They completely forget that I'm the grandniece of the Jersey Devil, and so what are you gonna do?
That'll be a cool story to do one time about talking about your relation to the Jersey Devil.
I could go
don't
on
give
and
too
on.
much
Yeah,
away.
well, I don't want to give away all the family secrets, but I am a member of that dark clan.
Yeah. Anyway, back to this weird shower guy. Yeah, he hangs out in the shower. He's going to be interjecting from time to time. You can find him on TikTok because he insisted on starting his own advice page because he thinks he's some kind of like sage of wisdom or something like that. It's called @ShowerGuyAdvice. So do with that what you will.
I figure you hang out in the shower for that long, a good idea has to come to you eventually.
You come up with something. Right. So you can check out his videos. You can DM him questions on there. You can comment questions. He'll try to answer them. He's also got showerguyadvice@gmail.com for you to basically write in and ask him anything you need advice over, and he's going to do his best for that. So that's enough of him. That's enough of his shameless plug. God, the things we do for characters on this show.
Oh, we owe him that favor. I don't really want to go into why, but yeah.
Yeah, anyway, welcome to the show. I'm PJ.
And I'm Lauren.
And so I hope you guys listen. I hope you guys tell everybody about our show, Lauren and PJ Do Science. Wow, screwed up the name of the show on our very first episode. We're gonna have all cool stuff coming forward too. We're gonna have a TikTok. We actually already have a TikTok. It's @Lauren and PJ Do Science. We're gonna have an Instagram that'll probably be called @Lauren and PJ Do Science. YouTube eventually,
unless someone's taking the name.
Yeah, all kinds of social media. Yeah, unless somebody's taking it, but
how many Laurens and PJs
would
you think are out there? I don't know.
Exactly. It's like we had a band and somebody took our thunder, or we stole somebody else's thunder in our band. Yes, we used to have a band together. Did, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we could do some. Maybe we can do some stuff with that too.
Well, I was thinking
maybe I'll write you a little part in the songs.
Maybe we could do a duet one of these days. Maybe you can convince me to sing. We'll see.
We could. I might be able to. But anyway, my friends, that is going to do it for our little brief intro episode. I wanted to keep this one short and kind of introduce you to how the show's going to go. And believe me, it's going to get crazy. It's going to get more chaotic, and it's going to get more off the wall as we settle in and we kind of figure out this whole thing and get into a rhythm. So stay tuned because it's going to be a lot of fun. But until then, thanks everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Say goodnight, Lauren.
Good night, Lauren.